Thank you for joining us, and here are some of the stories we're filing at this hour. I am Franco Malape, and now the federal government is targeting 70% capital stock and $150 billion yearly to close Nigeria's yawning infrastructure gap. But it acknowledged that the current yearly budgetary allocation available to fix and upgrade the nation's infrastructure was too insignificant to meet the $50 or $150 billion target required yearly for the National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan. This was disclosed by the Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Prince Clem Agba, during the formal launch and presentation of the review NIIMP in Abuja. According to Agba, the reviewed National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan and the newly approved National Development Plan estimated the current nation's infrastructure stock at between 30 to 35% of the GDP in 2020, but this was far from the estimated target of 7% envisaged in 2013. He said that there was no doubt that the estimated resource requirement of $2.3 trillion for the National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan implementation was enormous and tasking, stressing the need for the private sector to get involved. Beside investment by subnational government, the private sector is expected to play an increasing role either directly or in collaboration with the government through the public-private partnership with government, providing a supportive environment with stable and transparent policies, rules and regulations required for a robust PPP investment. The federal government shall also continue to explore external borrowing as well as opportunities created by other government-controlled sources such as the Sovereign Wealth Fund and the pension funds to support infrastructure delivery, he noted. The review master plan covers the period of 2020 to 2043. The master plan became necessary because Nigeria lacked adequate infrastructure from power to roads to boost the economy. And in the meantime, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has advised the federal government to devise means of boosting local production in order to fix the lingering supply chain crisis that ensued in the wake of the Russia-Ukraine war. The president of the chamber, Asiwaju Michael Olawale, stated this during his address at the LCCI quarterly State of the Economy press conference, Lagos. Olawale said, "The war between Russia and Ukraine had unexpectedly lingered since February till date, fueling deeper fears about worsening food scarcity and rising poverty." He added that supply chain disruptions might continue for the rest of the year. According to him, the war paints a gloomier outlook for the global economy and especially Nigeria for obvious reasons. The most sustainable solution, he said, was for the government to boost local production of hitherto imported staples to levels that would meet local demand. He said, quote, "In preparing for the reality of our near future, we urge the federal government to take seriously the completion of projects like the Trans-Saharan Gas Pipeline, a planned natural gas pipeline from Nigeria to Algeria. With these, we can explore the opportunity of exporting gas to Europe in the long term. We need to also diversify our export by boosting our local refining capacity, production of petrochemical products, and accelerating reforms in the oil and gas sector to attract more foreign investment in the coming months." End of quote. And now the federal government of Nigeria on Thursday secured the biggest share of the $65 billion, that's about 27 trillion naira funding from the World Bank's International Development Association to African countries. This was as the international organization unveiled the 20th replenishment package IDA 20 in Dakar, the Senegalese capital, to have lower-income countries respond to the COVID-19 crisis and build more resilient economies. According to a statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant to the Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, 70% of the entire package, which amounted to about $93 billion, that's about 30 trillion naira, will be channeled to various African states, with the largest share being allocated to Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari will join other African leaders in Dakar, said the largest financial package ever mobilized in the history of the IDA will prioritize some key areas such as agriculture and food security, human capital, climate change adaptation, bridging the gender gap, job creation, digital and technological innovation, among others. He also called on global partners for concerted efforts to help mitigate the aftershocks of the COVID-19 pandemic and stabilize developing economies towards sustainable growth. Buhari reiterated that Nigeria, through job creation, was determined to build an economy that is capable of withstanding shocks. In the meantime, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has commended the various intervention programs implemented by the Bank of Industry to support the growth and development of the micro, small, and medium enterprises sector. Osinbajo will make the commendation at the 5th National MSME Awards dinner in Abuja. Also praised the effort of the Bank of Agriculture, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, the Corporate Affairs Commission, and the Standard Organization of Nigeria, among others, in promoting the growth of MSMEs. Speaking at the event, the Vice President said the relentless drive, energy, and creativity of young Nigerians are the guarantee that the country will prosper and provide jobs and opportunities for the millions of youth coming into the job market yearly. Praising the steadfastness and contributions of young entrepreneurs who won prizes at the event, the Vice President said these MSMEs tell the story of our country's great economic future. And now oil and gas companies have committed to gas flaring reduction in Nigeria, though some of them oppose the enforcement of penalties for gas flaring as contained in the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. Speaking during a session at the ongoing 2022 Nigeria Oil and Gas Conference in Abuja, the Managing Director, Total Energies Exploration and Production Nigeria Limited, Mike Sanga, said effort by operators were being increased to reduce carbon emissions from gas flaring. He, however, stated that the adoption of penalties to address the concern was not an answer, stressing the international oil company as well as others had developed programs to manage the situation. The Total Energies board stated that oil firms should be encouraged to move towards more gas production for the indigenous market and for export. The Group Chief Executive Officer, Vorin Group, an oil and gas firm, Victor Ude, stated that aside from boosting gas production in Nigeria, the decade of gas declaration by the government in 2020 was also aimed at reducing gas flaring. He said operators in the sector had keyed into the declaration and were making effort to cut down on flared gas, adding that some level of progress had been made in this direction. Ude said, quote, "The government has declared the decade of gas and gas is a transitional fuel. So this gives us the opportunity by way of regulation and policy to accept the complementary effort of gas as well as the supplantation of gas in terms of fossil fuels and the decarbonization as well as we know it today." End quote. And now the Natural Oil and Gas Suppliers Association of Nigeria, stakeholders and practitioners in the nation's oil and gas sector yesterday called on the federal government to allow its members a 5-month window to import diesel to stabilize supply and prices. This was just as House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating the actual daily consumption of petrol in Nigeria on Thursday demanded full details of all the petroleum products seized and auctioned by the Nigerian Customs Service. In a communique read by the national president of the association, Bennett Korea, after the second annual National Executive Council and stakeholders meeting in Abuja, it said that it was planning to meet President Muhammadu Buhari to table its demands soon. In addition, the group urged the federal government to allow them access to the official foreign exchange window, lamenting that part of the current challenges is that its members source dollars from the black market. The association, a network of suppliers, marketers, distributors, and other related enterprises in the sector's business environment, further called on the National Assembly to enact a law that will provide for an energy bank like in some other sectors. Manufacturers and consumers alike have been bearing the brunt of the diesel price increases from an average of 250 naira per litre late last year to over 800 naira in some parts of Nigeria recently.